Welcome to Rewired Sober, the podcast that breaks down the real reasons women turn to alcohol. Spoiler alert, it wasn't a character flaw. It was your neurobiology, your conditioning, and the systems that taught women to silence themselves instead of support themselves. I'm your host, Kate Vitella. I've been a registered nurse for well over 2 decades, trained in addiction and mental health, a bit neuroscience obsessed, but spiritually grounded. This is the science and soul work of a woman's recovery, where I help you understand what's happening in your sober brain and reconnect to that deeper inner truth you've always had, that soul level knowing, the intuition the patriarchy has tried to train out of you. When women combine the science of the brain rewiring with that inner knowing, you stop feeling broken and you start feeling powerful. So let's get into it. Welcome back to Rewired Sober. Today I have a guest who I will introduce in just a moment, but I'm gonna open this by saying we are recording this on January 8th, and I feel like January has this specific energy. Like everyone is suddenly either resetting, detoxing, going to the gym, a brand new me. And we're trying to do all that by February or March or bathing suit season. And the guest I have on today, I've heard her mention that January 9th, the second Friday in January, is what you call Quitter's Day. When you quit quitting, when you quit all your New Year's resolutions. And so I can't think of a better guest than to have on today to talk about her platform and dry January and the expectations to just new year, new me it. So today I'm welcoming Casey Mcquire Davidson. She is a life and sobriety coach and the host of one of the top mental health podcasts, the Hello Someday podcast for sober, curious women. It has become a wildly popular podcast. I'm so proud of her for this. She defines herself as an ex-red wine girl who spent 20 years climbing the corporate ladder while holding tightly to her love of wine. Casey stopped drinking a decade ago and is passionate about helping busy women stop drinking and create lives they love without alcohol. Her work has been featured on, I'm just going to name a few here, Good Morning America, NPR, Huffington Post, the New York Times, NBC News. I mean, she has become almost a household name in the recovery spaces. And so I'm really honored to have her on today. She's also become a friend of mine. I love having another podcaster on as a guest because you can just do the work for me and we can just go for it. So welcome, Casey.
Oh, thank you so much. You know I love you. For anyone listening, we both live in the Seattle area. We met years and years ago. And I'm just excited for you. I'm excited for this show. I'm excited to talk about all the good stuff. And anyone listening to this, just know if you want to hear Kate on my podcast, come back on January 22nd to the Hello Someday podcast, because we are talking about how women can rewire their brains in recovery. And I'm leveraging all of Kate's great information on neuroscience and all the shit that goes on in medical terms that I don't understand at all. So I love talking to you as well.
I love that you're like, all the shit that goes on, all that shit.
That stuff, like behind the scenes. I like to understand that and also bring on experts like you who know about it. So my background is on a habit and behavioral change approach and working with limiting beliefs. And that's my background as a life coach, as a professional coach, and all that good stuff, as well as my background in terms of how I stopped drinking. So there is a lot of scientific shit that goes on behind the scenes. Understanding that is incredible. And that's why I wanted to have you on the show.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for that. I actually have to admit, I'm really surprised at this point that I'm having you on my show because we have such a different approach in terms of like the way that we talk about this, we have more of a similar approach than I thought, but I was so jealous of you when I started coaching and started my podcast that I was like, yeah, she's just this basic bitch. And like, I, I was so jealous of you.
Oh my
Like,
God, I am totally gonna be like, yeah, my favorite quote is that I was called a basic bitch today. And by the way, I take zero offense at that.
yeah, and like meeting you in person. You know what really well, first of all, just follow me long enough to know, like, okay, she knows what she's fucking talking about. She's no pressure, no shame, no dogma, low barrier, great sense of humor. And really, since the Trump administration and all the horrible stuff that's going on in our country, watching you bravely speak out, I was like, oh, she's not a basic bitch. She's a bad bitch. Like,
So
okay,
just so you
I see
know,
you.
yes, thank you for saying that. I have to say that it is a weird time to be someone running a business in a country
Yes.
that is so fucking divided. And a while ago, I was really tentative about speaking out, but I am a die-hard fucking liberal feminist and have been my entire life. I live in Seattle and I did not become a liberal progressive because I moved to Seattle. I moved to Seattle because I was a liberal progressive. And this is, since I was a child. So basically, I hesitated for a while. And then I was like, you know what? Silence is acceptance. I don't give a shit. I am a person with one vote, but I believe things deeply. And I did have some people come up because people friend me all the time who listen to the podcast and want to stop drinking and want to make a connection. And I love that. I truly love that. And I accept almost everyone who friends me. Not weird men who apparently are widowers. Aren't they all like like military widowers and they want to get to know me? And I'm like, dude, but okay, you can cut all this, by the way.
No,
But
this is
people were
so good.
like, I really don't, why I liked it better when you talked about sobriety. So I finally added a screenshot to my like personal account and I added like saying like this is my personal account for family and friends. If you want all things sobriety, go to my Facebook account that is Hello Someday Coaching. But I know it turns a lot of people off and I am perfectly okay with that.
Yeah, and you're one of the people that inspired me to be perfectly okay with the turnoff. Like
Yeah.
those people wouldn't be my clients anyway. They wouldn't resonate with my messaging, with my style, with my feminism. So what am I doing?
Yeah.
And we're in this place now where you're right. Silence is compliance. I don't want to go on and on about that, but I just really appreciated you with such a large platform being so honest in that people are coming for you in the comments like stick to sobriety, stick to what you know
Yeah.
but who we are as humans. I mean, people essentially want to work with us because of who we are as people,
Yes.
right? We're
Yes.
not robots.
And like, let's be clear, when you're coaching people to get out of drinking, um, what's going on in the world is a huge trigger. Anything that makes you feel hurt, sad, upset, lonely, irritated, powerless, angry, all that shit is a trigger. And it is on both sides. Um, and I've had people come to me for private coaching and I talk to them all before. I don't do private coaching anymore, but I worked with 150 women over 5 years. And if they are outraged on the other side about things going on, I know in my heart I am not the right coach for them because I wouldn't be able to open my heart with love and compassion and sympathy and understanding and connection. And that is the most important part of coaching, right? Finding someone who gets you and understands you and champions you. And that's why people go to coaches who have a similar philosophy. And also in terms of like, is this coach divorced? Is this coach an empty nester? Is this coach young and single? Or a lot of women come to me because I am a working mom with two kids who was overwhelmed and drank a bottle of wine a night, and no one told me I had to stop drinking. But I was worried about my drinking and trying to cut back for well over a decade. So I think you go to people who have your similar life experience, and that's good.
Yeah. And thank God we're all different, right?
Yes.
Like we're all of us coaches, we have such a different aesthetic and a different, not necessarily, beliefs about the world or whatever, but people are attracted to the humanness. And I really appreciate you just remaining yourself and being true to who you are. That's taught me a lot as a newer entrepreneur. And so what I want to talk about today is dry January, even though just the whole like concept of it to some people can be kind of cringe. Like, and
Hmm.
again, this is another area where I was like, oh, I'm not going to talk about dry January, right? Like, it's too commercial for me. And it doesn't really necessarily dig deep into the issues of what people are dealing with. And yet, and yet, when I sit back, I have friends who this was their introduction into
Hmm.
sobriety. And
Yeah.
also, who the fuck cares? Right?
Yeah.
If it's 30 days of not drinking, it's still 30 days of not drinking. It's still amazing. Like, who
Yeah.
cares what we call it, right? Quick pause here, folks, because some of you might be listening to this and thinking, okay, I'm on a sober journey, but I still feel stuck. Yeah, that's normal. Removing the alcohol is one thing. Rewiring the brain, rebuilding your actual life is the real work. And that's why I created the Rewired Sober coaching program. It's 3 months where we combine neuroscience, soul work with weekly live support calls so you can actually understand what's happening in your head and your body. You can start anytime, you get immediate access, and you don't have to figure this all out alone. If you're ready for transformation, the link to join is in the show notes, and I hope to see you there. Now back to the show.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I actually love dry January. I really do, for a lot of reasons. The primary one is that it is a very accepted, low risk way of moving through the absolute hardest part of sobriety, which are the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month with a community. And it doesn't have to be a sobriety community. Like 35% of American adults who drink participate in dry January without a lot of questions. I think one of the biggest things that women who are stopping drinking, especially women who have a lot of drinking friends, a drinking partner, women who drink every night, like I did, fear is all the questions about why you're not drinking and all the pressure to drink, despite the fact they are trying not to. And let's face it, you are really fucking wobbly in early sobriety. Like a small breeze will push you into opening a bottle of wine or grabbing
Yeah.
a cocktail. So it gives you this safe cocoon and a reason. And it's also like, it sounds dumb, but in behavioral research and habit change terms, you need an implementation intention that you communicate widely, meaning I am not drinking for 31 days for this reason, and I am telling everyone about it. And you are 2 to 3 times more likely to succeed. And that's really hard to do on March 12th, you know?
Yeah, yeah, true. You're right. And saying it out loud, not only does it provide some accountability, but it reframes the way that you're organizing your story in your head, and it can reinforce habit change. There's a lot to that. And I love your approach with atomic habits and habit change. I also am a big fan of that. I view addiction as an overlearning in a sense, a maladaptive learning that we've taught ourselves how to drink as time has gone on, and we can teach ourselves how not to. That being a different subject, but how has it been going thus far? Well, we're kind of in the first couple weeks. It seems
Yeah.
like been a massive interest in the program. Do people stick with it, or do you get a lot of January 9th quitters? What does that look like?
Well, it's January 8th right now, and I'm doing everything in my power to make sure that January 9th or this weekend is not a breaking point for the people in my community or anyone who listens to my podcast. I will say that, for many years, I did a dry January program. And this year I switched it to the New Year 100 because I do truly believe that you need more than 30 days or 31 days to get away from alcohol long enough, physically, mentally, emotionally, habitually, to see it clearly, to stop wanting it, to stop using it as your main reward, to figure out that you can go through a date night, a business trip, a shit day, whatever it is, a fight with your partner, and not drink and get through it, and to compare and contrast that. I think one of the challenges with 30 days or 31 days is people handle it in the way they handle like a short commuter flight. You get on the plane, you're going from DC to New York. You don't even recline your seat. You certainly don't take off your shoes. You don't get up to go to the bathroom. They might or may not offer you pretzels or peanuts, whatever. You're just waiting for it to be over. And that is what a 1 month break is. Now, the benefits are you will look better, you will sleep better, you will get through some Friday nights without drinking, you will notice that you are happier without it, which you are. Your dopamine goes up, all that good stuff. And what most people do is they do a month alcohol free to prove to themselves that they don't have a problem, right? Like I took 30 days off so I can drink and I can do it again anytime I want. And they spend the first 2 weeks in the crappiest part, which is reinforcing in their mind that sobriety sucks and they're happier when they're drinking, which, by the way, is not true. Sobriety doesn't suck. Withdrawal sucks. And once you get through it, you're through it. You don't have to do the hardest part again. But the first 2 weeks suck and are hard, and you need tools and resources and help and strategies. And then the next 2 weeks, they are literally counting down the days of not drinking so that they can drink as their reward for not drinking, which is crazy. So, but I mean, I've done it. Everybody's done it. So when you go for 100 days, you have to, it's like going on a flight to Europe, a flight to Hawaii, a flight to Africa, right? You're like, this is going to be 5 to 10 hours. I need to download a couple books, download a show, bring my own snacks, bring a neck pillow, maybe bring that like foot hammock because I'm super short. So you're comfortable, all that stuff. You have to settle in and figure out how to enjoy it. And that's what a longer period of time alcohol free is. You have to settle into it and figure out how to actually live without checking out every night or using alcohol to cope or using alcohol to connect. And then you get to turn around and be like, holy shit, it impacted my priorities, my time, how I felt physically, mentally, emotionally, my relationships. I'm happier, I'm less anxious, all that good stuff. But you don't do it in 30 days. So I love Dry Jan as the intro. Your first 2 weeks are very, very hard. I mean, I used to go so many times breaking on day 4 or day 5 or my second weekend. And you need support, you need resources to help you not do that. So you don't do the hardest part over and over and over again, never get to the good stuff.
Yeah, totally agree. I love that analogy of an international flight versus a puddle jumper, right? And it's
Yeah.
what that sounds like is you're sort of getting rid of the cognitive dissonance
Mhm.
and the decision fatigue of, okay, do I go one more day? Do I stop? You've settled into the fact that, okay, I'm going 100 days. This is a long ass flight. I'm going to settle in for better or worse because you
Yeah.
know getting to the other side is worth it. Or maybe you don't know, right? Is it that you're coming across clients saying, I'm not sure it gets better. Like I
Mhm.
commonly will tell people, you got to just trust me, it gets better.
Yeah.
The first part is the hardest part.
Yeah.
But how do we get people to trust us that it will get better?
Yeah. Well, a couple different things. Number one, when I did private coaching, I was very clear that I was not a moderation coach. Most women came to me, and it's the same in my program. I don't believe that moderation works. Um, Trust me, I tried for well over a decade to do it. I kept
Same.
trying to do it. I failed over and over again. I said, fuck it. I went back. I tried again. I told myself I was a piece of shit, whatever it was, right? And even if you are like, I really, really, really don't want to stop drinking because that was my worst case scenario in my entire fucking life. Like, I was just like,
Yeah.
I need to get a handle on this so that I don't have to give up this thing that I love almost more than anything. Even if you feel that way, give yourself a chance to experience what January, February, March feels like not drinking, because trust me, you know what it's like when you're drinking. You know the highs and lows. Once you set that 100-day goal, tell everyone and then put it aside, because your only job is to get through day 9, day 13, day 14, and that's hard enough. One thing my coach said to me on day 1 is literally, nobody wants to stop drinking. You want to feel better. And you have to trust me that if you stop drinking, you will feel better. And I agree with that. If you are waiting until you actually want to not drink, it will never happen. You will always have this pull to drink. It's an addictive substance. It really does, as you know, change your brain chemistry and cravings and all that stuff. And we've been conditioned since birth to think that alcohol helps us sleep, connect, that it's a privilege of adulthood, you name it. So you have to start before you're ready. And a lot of people are like, I'm going to learn everything about alcohol when I know it's bad for me. If I write myself enough shitty notes, or if I take enough selfies of me looking like garbage, then I will not want to drink. And it just won't happen. You will always want to drink until you get distance from it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. I don't know anybody who's like, I I really want to never drink again. I mean, for the most part, I just wanted personally to have freedom. Like alcohol had me by the balls so much that I just wanted to be free of it. I felt like I had to drink in the end to calm that cycle, which I now understand is part of the opponent process theory, is part of, the anxiety, the chemical cascade. But at the time, I just felt trapped. Like I had to drink. And I don't even have balls, but alcohol had me by something. And it
Yeah.
was, although I would argue today I kind of have balls. I mean, come
Oh, totally. Yeah. Whatever. Metaphorical balls.
Oh my gosh. I could go on stories about how me and friends have joked about shaving our balls. But anyway, yeah, like I wanted freedom, and it's okay if you don't want to give up alcohol. Like I have clients that say like they want to stop drinking.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
hmm
dead ass. Like, I get that. Thank you for being
Now,
honest.
if you're listening and you're like, I really want to stop drinking, awesome. Dude, yes. I've had clients who are like, I know I need to never drink again. And I want that because I'm so fucking tired. And I'm like, that is fantastic. I love that for you. Write down all the reasons why, write down why it sucks for you, write down what you want instead, and then put it aside. I do not want you to think about never again. I do not want you to think about forever. I want you to commit to 100 days. And my commitment to you is I will do everything I can to support you through that process. But if you sit there and you are like, I'm never again going to drink, you are going to see someone at a bar picking up a drink, and you are going to be like, oh my God, I am never going to have that again. I am never going to.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I might as well do it one more time. Or you'll be like, I don't care. I want it. Or you'll be like, it's too hard. Fuck it. I'll never succeed anyway. And it just sets you up to fail. So we need to lower the stakes. You need to stop fucking debating whether you are a quote unquote alcoholic, or whether you just abuse alcohol, or whether you drink more than other people because all your friends drink. Put that all aside and just be like, this is a health kick. This is a dry January or 100 days sober alcohol challenge, alcohol free challenge. This is a health kick. This is a self-care challenge. This is a gift to myself. And as I said to my husband, I love wine. So this is going to be really fucking hard for me. So I can't have it in front of me. It's like having a birthday cake with 2 slices out of it sitting on your kitchen counter. There is zero chance you are going to walk by that and not do the like 1 sliver, 2 sliver, 3
Yeah.
slivers, right?
Finger licking in the
Oh my
frosting.
God. Like I've done the thing with like birthday cakes with my kids where, when you go around the base for the icing,
Yes.
but you're like, probably no one's going to notice I'm doing this. Like that's what's
Yes.
having your alcohol of choice in your home. You need it gone, because like atomic habits, habit change, a visual cue triggers a craving. Like you want to get rid of as many triggers or cues to drink as possible because you need to change your physical environment and your social environment so that you are set up to succeed, not to self-sabotage.
Yeah. And you and I have talked about doing something different. And I don't really know where I heard this. I want to say it was maybe Amy Porterfield, like DSD, do something different because as I
Yeah.
teach, you got to repattern, right? You need a pattern interrupt. So all the shit that you used to do, you come home, you put your keys down, you sit down, you pour, like all those neurons are firing and wiring together. So
Yeah.
you need a pattern interrupt. You got to do something completely different. Come home, change your clothes, sit in a different space, reach for a different item, have all the alcohol removed out of your house, go for a walk. Like really, you got to shake it up to get out of that cycle in the
Yeah.
beginning. And then I would argue for quite a while until the brain actually rewires. And so when you're working with people in dry January, what are the sort of DSDs like that you're recommending for people? Because
Yeah.
I think people are so scared. We say, what has to change? Well, everything, but it kind of does.
Yeah. It's like it's both very, very simple and difficult at the same time. Simple is switch out one beverage for another beverage, right? Don't drink the beer, order the non alcoholic beer. Don't get the mojito, get the non alcoholic mojito. Like it is a fucking liquid. And when you step away from it, I mean, it is a drug, right? But it is actually pretty fucking easy to swap it out. It is. You can make almost any beverage non alcoholic. It is also addictive, habit forming everywhere. You're pressured to drink. And for most of us, it is the way we cope.
Yeah.
We have not developed any other tools for what to do in the evening, what to do on a date night, what to do when you're stressed, overwhelmed, lonely, you name it. And so it's also very difficult to break. So, I mean, there are a number of tips that I have for people in early sobriety in your first 30 days to get through it. You sort of have to address it in all ways. I mean, number one, tell everyone. When I stopped drinking, and I was a bottle of wine, a girl a night, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Like I had to tell people because nobody was going to not notice that I was drinking. And they might think I was pregnant, right? And I was 40 with two kids. I was like, no fucking way. But I had to tell people. And I needed it to be something that was framed in the positive. So I told my morning workout group, my colleagues, my girlfriends, my husband, my kids, everyone and their grandmother that I was taking a 100-day break from alcohol right at the outset. Like, what's up with you? Oh, I'm doing an non-alcohol challenge health kick. I also really needed to protect myself going into the witching hour. So having a snack with protein at 3:30 or 4 p.m., it sounds stupid. It is hugely important, something to do. So I used to set my alarm. I would bring that to work. You do not want to be leaving work, picking up the kids, or at home with the kids, or at home doing anything. No kids, empty nest, doesn't matter when you are hungry because you will be at a very vulnerable place. Also, you need to shift your thought patterns. Like, there is no question that you are going to want to drink on day 2, day 4, day 5, day 7, right? So you need to remove the alcohol, the ability to break. But then you also need to work on your limiting beliefs and thoughts about what drinking brings to you. So I had a sober podcast lesson in my ear every single day. I emailed my coach every day. Like I was a gold star girl in sobriety. I wanted that pat on the head,
Hmm.
which is why a coach worked for me because I would be much more likely to uphold a commitment to someone else than to myself. So I wrote her about how I was feeling every single day. I mean, in detail, like I want to drink XYZ. My husband's being annoying. My boss was a total bitch today. I'm hungry, I'm having these thoughts. And she was able to reframe them for me and rationalize them and let me know that it was normal to feel this way and that it would not, and sort of gave me the other argument and literally told me what to do. Like, go eat a brownie, cuddle up, and go to bed at 8:30 and tell your husband you're not feeling well or whatever it was. Like I wrote her in a panic the first time I went out to dinner with my husband and another couple to a restaurant. And I was on like day 40 and I literally was like, what the fuck do I do? Because when I walk in there and they come over with the, drinks list and ask me what I want to drink, I am going to be a deer in the headlights. So I needed to like, okay, look at the menu in advance, choose what you're going to drink, tell them the minute you walk in, you're doing a health kick, eat something before you go so you're not hungry, check in with me, check in with your group, tell them your text people from the bathroom. I mean, it sounds so stupid. It will not always be this hard, but you are working on muscle memory and there are so many things designed to make you drink. So there are a million tips and strategies of what to do, but you really just need to build your sober bubble in the first month, right? Just immerse yourself in why no one wants to drink, why not drinking is a good idea, other people who are telling you it's better, other people who are cheering you on and doing this with you, and stay away from drinking events.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that because I mean, I was joking that I called you a basic bitch, but to be honest with you, I don't ever talk about these basic strategies. I don't ever lay these out. I just assume people already have this information, which is so dumb because before I got sober, I knew nothing about this. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
known any of this. It wouldn't have been intuitive. I would have thought I was completely screwed up and broken. And someone being able to explain this stuff to me is extremely helpful. And so oftentimes I
Yeah.
skip some of this basic stuff. And I'm like, dude, I need this. My audience needs this as well. And so I'm joking. I don't think you're a basic bitch. I love you,
Oh
but
my
I
God, I've been called a basic bitch like 15 times in
no,
this.
I'm
Like, no, I'm kidding.
sorry.
And by the way, no, I love it. I fucking love it. Like, I promise you, I'm going to get off this call and like call my husband and be like, just so you know, I seem like a basic bitch, but I'm a badass bitch. Like, I need to write that down
Well,
somewhere.
people called me in the beginning when I first started in recovery and I would go to share, they would like preface the audience with like, oh, okay, she's gonna swear a lot. She's a little raunchy. And like gird your loins, right? Clutch
Oh
your
my God.
pearls because Kate's coming. And I just I was like, oh my God, like that's what people
Yeah.
think of me. So
No, it's funny. You know what my favorite, I was in coaching school and anyone can do this. We're so fucking hard on ourselves. We have the biggest inner critic. And so in my coaching school, they were like, we want you to do this essence project, which is basically like text, ask everyone you know and just be like, dude, I'm doing this project. Can you please give me the three words that pop into your head first when you think about me? I was terrified to ask my mother and my sister. I was like, holy shit, what are they going to say? Um, because I'm not like super, super close to them. Love them, you know what I mean. Um, and I asked people who've known me for 20 years and I know are my best friends and biggest cheerleaders. And I asked people I barely knew at work. I was just like, dude, give me this. And one of my favorite quotes that I remember to this day, this was like 8 years ago, was this woman I barely knew but kind of liked at work. But she was one like walk across the office and be like, how was your weekend? And she told me like two things. And then her last one was, you have the opposite of resting bitch face. And I was like, oh my God, that's the best and favorite compliment I've ever gotten in my life. And I'm always like, I have the opposite of a resting bitch face.
you
Like,
really do. You have this like really kind of sparkly, big smile, like very welcoming. Someone like me who's like a dark soul is very
no
jealous of
way.
that because
You're not, but it
I'm
cracked me up
kidding.
because I worked at L'Oreal with a lot of like super beautiful women who are kind of bitchy on the surface. And dude, RGBs were everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so back to dry
Oh,
January.
back to that.
Back
Yes.
to what we're talking about. You know, another area that I feel really passionate about, and this is something that we certainly have in common, is gosh, January is this time where people think new year, new me. And
Yeah.
maybe they don't even think that, but like the marketing, capitalism is pushing at us so hard. Like you need to be dairy free, gluten free, alcohol free. Do the 75 hard, adopt this new body, take on a yoga practice. And I see people coming into recovery trying to be all the frees at once,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
just a fucking disaster.
Yeah. It
And
is.
so
It
what
is.
what is your messaging around that?
Well, I mean, I did that for years, right? And it was because I loved drinking so much that if I was going to give it up, I better lose 15 pounds and start running and doing all this shit, right? I knew drinking prevented me from doing that. Like I sort of half-assed my workout and skipped sometimes because
Oh,
I
I
was
faked whole
hungover and
workouts. I faked
oh,
it.
yeah. So, I knew it was preventing me from that, but I was like, I also didn't want to tell people I was worried about my drinking, so I framed it as a health kick or a weight loss initiative and all that shit. Which I still, I'm like, dude, tell everyone it's a health kick.
Yeah,
And dear God, do not diet. Like, do not fucking diet.
I know.
Whatever you do, like if I worked out in early sobriety. I was also doing that before, but like in the beginning, you are going to be so tired. You are going to be irritated, sensitive. And that's because you're in physical withdrawal, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And it is also like willpower and motivation only works for so long, right? You are going to need comfort. You're going to need rewards. You're going to crave sugar. You just are. I used to be that person who was like, no dessert for me. I take my calories in wine. Like you
oh,
always
for
joke
sure.
about the shit that's like, things you don't want people to like judge you on that you're personally worried about. And I was like, oh my God, I don't have a sweet tooth. I was drinking a bottle of fucking wine a night. Like there was a
Yes.
shitload of sugar in there, but I was like, none for me. Like
I was
I'm
drinking a
so,
box of wine a night. I
yeah.
mean, full
So
stop.
like don't diet, I beg of you. And I always tell women who like, dude, when I stopped drinking, a huge motivator was I fucking hated how I looked, right? I hated looking in the mirror. I was puffy. My eyes were glassy. They were bloodshot. Um, all that shit. So like, if you're going to stop drinking because you want to look better, God bless you. Do it. Anything
Yeah,
that motivates you
yeah,
to stop drinking. And don't diet because you will not get past, day 12. And so what I say is like take a selfie on day 1 when you look like garbage, right? Nobody has a day 1 when they're feeling awesome. And then take a selfie every single week. And you will notice, even if the scale does not budge at all. And I also am like, don't weigh yourself for God's sakes. Eat the brownies, don't weigh yourself, sleep through the night, whatever it is, whatever you need, you will look better, even if you don't lose a single pound. Like your face will be less puffy, your skin will look better, your eyes will look better, your hair will look better. So, like, if you are doing this for vanity, you will look better. I promise you. Every week you get away from drinking. So just don't diet because you don't know whether you're craving alcohol or it's because you're not eating any friggin' bread and all you're eating is salads and you're fucking starving, you know?
absolutely. I agree. I tell people, please don't try to go on a diet and a big workout regimen and do all this stuff. I mean, willpower is a finite resource. It will run out. You know,
Yeah,
you'll run into decision fatigue, exhaustion, and it'll be like, fuck it all. And
yeah,
also, the getting sober is like the most difficult, radical, huge thing you can do for yourself.
yeah,
So sober is enough. Like I tell clients, you have one job. Don't
yeah.
drink.
Just don't drink.
Just don't drink no matter what. But,
Yeah,
in January, in the new year, there's so much pressure from capitalism to become a new version of us. And
yeah,
so that can be really hard for people. And
it can. It can.
well,
And I mean, I'm just telling people, I'm like, this needs to be a period of extreme self-care. We frame drinking as a reward and how we care for ourselves. And you need to feel like you are almost being spoiled. Like you are almost like, okay, this is ridiculous. And every time you do that, you need to say, this is my treat for being sober. This is my reward. I am taking care of myself and I am rewarding myself. So in terms of like what to do, I'm like, okay, you usually drink on Friday nights. I used to leave work at 4 p.m., which was hard for me, right? I was a director at a Fortune 500 company, blocked off my calendar, felt guilty, made an excuse, you name it. And I would go get a pedicure on Friday nights or a massage before I had to pick up my kids at daycare closed at 6:30. I would pick up take out sushi, because like that wasn't a trigger for me because I didn't like sake and usually sushi had crap red wine. So I didn't associate it with it. And I would come home, I would eat chocolate chip cookies, I would cuddle on the couch with my son and watch a rom-com. And then the next morning I would get up and I would go for a walk outside. I mean, you have to lower the bar, you have to ask your partner to take on more, which by the way, they probably should have been doing anyway. And just let your kids watch the iPad and stop feeling guilty and stop, don't do the dishes. You go to bed without drinking. That day you get the gold star, right?
Yep.
You are a gold star girl.
Yep. That's the win. It's hard enough. We don't need to be piling all this other stuff on, and it just sets you up for failure.
Yeah, it
I
really does.
completely agree. And so your program starts with dry January, and then are you moving people into 100-day program from there?
Yeah, like I said, my program right now is called the New Year 100. So anyone can join, by the way. Just go to sobernewyear.com if you
Yeah.
want to. Other people love private coaches. So, like, definitely if you want that, do that. Both are incredible. But it's the Sober New Year 100. And our joint goal is to get to 100 days, continuous days alcohol free. And that is because a ton of reasons, but alcohol is like a magnet. Even if you have, like some programs call it data points, you have enough data points. Trust me. You have years of data points, right?
Yeah,
You don't
really.
fucking need any more. That, in my mind, the idea of a data point is just breaking your commitment and making it okay. And I do not believe in beating yourself up, but I do believe like every time you're like, oh, data point, another data point that drinking sucks for me and I'm terrible at it. It's like, no, that was the moment when you needed to build a sober muscle. That was a moment when you were meant to learn something and do a big bicep curl and get stronger. And if you drank in that moment, all that means is you didn't have enough support. You didn't have the right strategies. You didn't have the mindset and the resources you needed and the commitment to get through it. And so we make a goal of continuous days. One, because every time you drink, your cravings get stronger for alcohol. You subconsciously, unconsciously tell yourself, oh, fuck, I already blew it. I might as well drink again. I might as well wait till Monday. There's a party coming up. You sabotage yourself, and then you're back in the drinking cycle, right? So continuous days are key.
Okay,
Also,
I'm going to interrupt you for a
yeah,
second because
please.
I think this is where bad bitch Casey comes in. So you're saying that you don't allow people, or allow is a silly word. You can say whatever the fuck you want, but you're not really buying into the data point thing, but you're also not telling people it's their fault. It's essentially that you were
Yeah,
ill-equipped. Am I getting that
yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely. And let's be clear. I tried to do dry January and I made it 4 days, 4 fucking days.
I never
And
even
then I got
tried.
four,
I was like,
four days
no.
again and I drank again. And I told myself, well, 2 bottles of wine in 8 days is way better than 9 bottles of wine in 8 days. And it is.
It
And
is.
yet I was still doing the hardest part over and over again. I never got to the good part. I was always craving and withdrawing and thinking about it and rationalizing it and white knuckling it and beating myself up and all that shit. So the continuous days are not for me. They are for you. And they are also because you feel very, very differently on day 16 or 18 than you do on day 5. And, people are like, and no judgment. Like I said, I've been there. Oh, I got to 100 days with 8 slips. And I'm like, dude, you're on day 7. Like, no offense. The fact that you had like X number of days, alcohol free is fantastic. You have had 8 slips. You have 92 fucking alcohol free days. That is incredible. And you currently are in withdrawal. You are currently craving. You are currently thinking about drinking. And when you get further away is when you can see it clearly. And again, that is not for me, right? That is a gift for yourself. That is you building the habit of not drinking. That is you having decided that you're not drinking. So you're like, oh my God, I desperately want to drink right now, but I'm not doing that. So what am I going to do instead? And being like, well, why do I want to drink? I'm angry. Great. Why are you angry? What can you do about it? Like once you know why you want to drink, you can come up with solutions. They might not be the easy button of like knock yourself unconscious with alcohol, but if you are lonely, call a friend, do something, put on music, distract yourself, like cry. Like crying is a legit sober strategy, man. Cry, yell, rage, all the things. Anyway, continuous days for me are key. And, that is not to say that people don't slip. People slip all the time, but we have a joint goal and understanding that continuous days are important.
Yeah.
And that's just because like a lot of women, like women in my group right now are like, oh my God, I'm on day 9 and this is the longest I've gone without drinking since I was pregnant 10 years ago. Like
Yeah,
you deserve a fucking parade for
for
doing that.
sure.
And your partner is not going to get it, probably. They're going to be like, yeah, dude, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, your
Cool,
partner's probably not.
cool.
Yeah,
Like,
they're not gonna get
or why are you even telling me this? Like the people who have gone through this get it. They get how hard it is. They get how amazing you are. They get that you deserve a reward for this shit, all that good stuff.
it. Yeah. Well, we are coming up to the end here of time, and I feel like I could talk to you forever, although we probably get wildly inappropriate, which
Always.
because you are not so basic after
Oh
all.
my God.
But if people are living under a rock, where can they find you? This is the
Oh my gosh.
obligatory
First of
question.
all, most people do not know about me, but thank you. You're so sweet. You can go to my website, hellosomedaycoaching.com. My podcast is the Hello Someday podcast for sober, curious women. And again, Kate is going to be on there on the
Yay.
22nd of January. So come listen. It's a great conversation. And if you want to join the Sober New Year 100, it is awesome. We are still, in the early days of it. You will get a ton of support and tools and resources, and you can find that at sobernewyear.com.
Awesome. So you still have time to join. All right. Well, thank you so much, Casey, for coming
Oh,
on.
thank you.
Thanks for spending this time with me. I love you all so very much, and I mean it. You can find me on all the socials at Rewired Sober. The links to join my coaching program are always in the show notes, as well as an email if you want to get in touch with the pod. So until next time.